Hello everyone, a heartily welcome to you all. I am Sacred and thank you all for joining me in Hearts of Iron 4. Well, today is the 14th of June and today everyone got the Death or Dishonor DLC package available to buy on the Steam store. So, the Death and Dishonor DLC package is available for everyone to buy. For the persons who had the first expansion pass already, or for those who had the Field Marshal edition which included the first expansion pass like I did, then you can get this DLC for free. So, go sure to check it out if you have it or not. Also, alongside the Death and Dishonor DLC, the Oak update version 1.4.0 had been released as well. So two major updates. The Oak update and the DLC Death or Dishonor. Will it be Death or Dishonor? You can see a fancy picture in the background already. In the following, I'm going to review the DLC and the features of the free update in one video, and you can also decide of which country I should play in Death or Dishonor. I'm looking forward to play all, but you have already decided on one. I know if I would make the option play all, then probably you would pick all, but I have to make some limitations. Therefore, you can choose between the countries which got the focus tree added, which is Yugoslavia, Hungary, and Romania, and Czechoslovakia. So one of these countries, you can choose that I play one of those, and in the second poll, you can choose if I should go democratic, fascist, or communist. I can see an intense battle between the fascists and the communists already, but let's go sure to resolve it via voting. Use your vote. Use your vote, probably. So let's take a look to the new game screen. As always, two scenarios. And then, you can see all of these countries were in the selection screen already, but added. Following countries were added: Czechoslovakia, the Kingdom of Hungary, the Kingdom of Romania, and Yugoslavia. All of these four countries have been added. Therefore, let's take a look to the map. That is how it looks like. That's how it looks like. There you see. Well, Hungary isn't called Hungary anymore. It's called Kingdom of Hungary actually. And I'm sure the names of the countries will change if you change their ideology as well. But let's take a look and see what the Death and Dishonor DLC has to say in its description. That's warrant for Death or Dishonor. The fate of nation rests in your hands. About this game, Death or Dishonor is a new country pack for Hearts of Iron 4 and expands upon players' ability to experience history's greatest conflict from a point of view. This new pack focuses on the countries caught between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany during World War II, faced with the tough choices of starting a conflict with a global superpower, or compromising their ideals to strike a deal for their own survival. Including new national focus trees for Hungary, Romania, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia, Death or Dishonor adds new unique events, nation-specific art and music, and much more, giving players all new ways to experience and change the course of history. Features list. 4 new focus trees, experience the war from the difficult perspectives of Hungary, Romania, Czechoslovakia, and Yugoslavia. I'm going to review all of them thoroughly as well. Equipment conversion. Update your arsenal by converting all the units, or make use of captured enemy vehicles and gear. New music and art. 3 new thematic musical tracks from composer Andreas Waltoft, new art content for the 4 focus nations, and new true voiceovers. New diplomatic and puppet actions. Licensed military technology to bring other nations' weapons to the field or sell your advances to the highest bidder. Fascist countries get new subject laws like Reichskommissariat, with access to licenses, industry and strategic resources. The instead governments are held in an iron grip, making it harder for them to break free. And how I said, please note, Hardware for Death or Dishonor is included in the first expansion pass. Well, now it's time to go over to the 3 expansions, which everyone got in the AUG update. So, I'll give you a brief peek of the biggest changes that are important. So, all new air controls and interfaces, including new air combat screen, air missions and wings now visible and selectable on map with ranges, etc. Rather, radar now more visible with ranges on map that can be toggled. Added possibility to rename air wings and added historical naming schemes to most nations. It's now possible to stop being capitulated by getting back to 90% and recovering your capital. Rules show on war participants when they have the capitulate icon up. Grabbing territory occupied by others in peace conferences now much more expensive. Several changes to map and strategic areas for better apply. New impossible borders and areas, for example Sahara, making warfare in certain parts of the world much more interesting. Updated interfaces for war overview, new, now with more casualty, strength and industry shown. Updated interface for trade and easy overview for and checking of convoys. Oh, that's quite a bit. Let's get straight into the game. I'm just gonna let's pick the blue nation of Yugoslavia and get straight into it. So, let's take a look to the focus to the research tree first, I suppose. Well then, of course the pictures are more vivid for the countries and you have newer, weapons, how you can see for example for Yugoslavia. Other than that, no big changes. You will be able to purchase tanks as well, if the nation research it or other stuff, and other than that nothing has changed in the research tree, everything stayed how it was. Then let's go on to the diplomacy. Diplomacy, well, I never used that, but it stayed the same how you can see. Nothing really. You can actually request license production here. Let's see, we as Yugoslavia, we could request license production from Germany, but we have to have more positive than negative thoughts. For example, they have these following licenses as active ones. For example, Opel Blitz, they'll not accept that because there's a high tech difference apparently, between us and the Yugoslavians. But keep in mind, you can also get tanks where if you have a heavy tech difference, then you'll have a problem because it's not really that cheap to get tanks. So if you're an ally of Germany, you can get these plans really easy. If not, then you are struggling a bit, certainly, to get their research. Then, let's go on to the trade. The trade path has been completely overhauled, which I find interesting. It is, well, to say it, way more organized that way. For example, you can see, well, it's organized on a certain way. You can see how much you extract, you import and export, and your production required for these resources. So, now you have a vivid screen with a green and a red color, so hey, congratulations for you. That's nice. Plus you can filter, you have filter options on the trade screen. You can filter, for example, by continents or subjects or neighbors, so you know from whom to pick that. Yeah. You can also see the convoys required. For example, it will be most expensive for Yugoslavia to import from Japan, and the cheapest to import from your neighbors which you have a land connection with. Yeah. So, let's go on to the construction tree. Construction area. Nothing actually changed here, but you have new sounds. For example, if you construct a factory, there you see, you well know the sound already, but if you finish the construction, you get a sound of cancelling. That's quite interesting. I think it's the same for everything, so nothing changed there. Yeah, it's the same even for anti-air. The same for land force as well, so nothing really, unique there. Perhaps same for converting factories. Although I really never convert factories, to be honest. How have I done now? Expand. Yeah, it's the same for it as well. There's some fancy sounds there for you, we can hear clearly. Then the next thing is, let's go on to production. Well, nothing changed in the production path. We can convert equipment if you capture it. Since we didn't capture it, we actually cannot convert it. The sound stays the same if we cancel it. Yep. It's the same cancelling sound for everything how we can hear, so that's not really that unique to say the least. The warfighter can create a variant, but that's usual. Well, it will be for as well. So that's it for the production. The recruitment and the deploy screen is also the same. You just have a new sound if you train a division. That's the same. Yeah, you have a new sound if you train a division. No matter what, you get that fancy sound there of queuing a division. You don't get it if you add units to that, so that you should know. Yeah. Actually, you get it for every division, do you? Not for every. Well, that's quite weird. Okay. And then the logistics tab is the same as well. Nothing changed. Oh, you look, yeah, nothing changed here as well. So then, that was the free unfinished actually. You have all new air controls and interfaces. So let's go to the air map mode. Let's see, you can actually see the range. See the range of your fighters. For example, your fighter can go into this area, which I find really good to know. And then you can see the range of your, since we only have fighters, we really can't see the range of longer planes. Let's, for that purpose, for example, I would say switch to the UK just to show that. Let's take England, yeah, not take England. So as England, we have a radar. We actually have a radar station. I didn't know that. So that England already has radar here. You can see the range of. Oh, you can see the. Oh, that's so awesome! You can see the radar coverage exactly. If you zoom in and if you click on it, you can see the area which is covered by the radar. It's actually superbly genuine. That's genius. Well made, developers. Yeah, radar stations here, which I really find nice that Britain already has radar. And you can see the range of your bombers, the long bombers, the tactical bombers. You can see can range all the way close up to Berlin. Then your fighter ranges, naval bomber ranges, and tactical bomber ranges. The British have no strategic bombers though, so I can't show that. Oh, that's really interesting though. That we have radars in the first way, and secondly that we have, as we can see, that's a really nice update. I'll greatly enjoy it, I can tell you that. And we can rename air wings. I think, can we? How can we rename air wings? Reorganize the air wing. I'm actually not sure. But anyways, the air wing screen is completely unique, and you can actually see to which areas you can assign. So, for example, these fighter planes I can assign to the Benelux region, and they also get an arrow. Well, that's quite nice there. They have to reallocate first to another air base before they can move active there. For example, so let's say we're staying in Sussex, then you can see that we can move front into the Benelux region. You don't have to, you cannot do the air supremacy level here already. You can see a complete overview of missions, of our missions and of enemy missions. Plus, you can see the results of the last sortie, making the air battle far more interesting and, more importantly, far more important. Plus, oh, that's a really awesome feature as well. You can see your planes in terms of unit strength and size. So it isn't one number in the areas anymore, like how it was before. Now it's actually separated into the aircraft types and into the amount of that aircraft you have. So that's really interesting, making the game far more enjoyable. So a complete overhaul in the air tree here. For example, for others we can only go for interception and air supremacy. If you take a tactical bomber though, like you for example, we can bomb Western Germany, and then we can select a close air support or strategic bombing. Of course, as always, you can go for low or high intensity, or you can go for day and operations during the night. So I think this update will make air battles really interesting again. Well, that's really well made for that. Now let's take a look to the Balkan states and to their focus trees. Yeah, that's the main thing of the Death and Dishonor. So let's go back to Yugoslavia and thoroughly review the Yugoslavian focus tree there. So firstly, the situation of Yugoslavia. You start off with 18 factories, of them being 3 military, 1 naval and 14 civilian. You have a free manpower of 14 million, a total manpower of 14 million, and a free one of 25,000. Plus you start off with a really low unit of only 60%. So perhaps the enemies only don't enough to capture the capital Belgrade in order to make a capitulate. I don't know. Let's Yugoslavia. You have many national spirits, like the Croatian opposition, the Macedonian opposition, the Slovene nationalism, the Serbian general staff, and the anti-German military. To be honest, I find the two of it that's only a plus 5%, but yeah, whatever. Then, the Yugoslavian focus tree. Now we come to the big parts. I'll cover this part here. You can either focus on going western or to recognize the Soviet Union. Yeah. There you go. You can either choose of going Allied path or the Axis path here. If you go this path, you can either go for friendship with Italy or you can reinforce old alliances, which will enable you to, well, buy better licenses from these nations. As I said, you can vote if I should play democratic, fascist or communist. And then you can also vote in the first vote if I should play as Yugoslavia, Hungary, Romania or Czechoslovakia. You'll only have around 20 hours to vote because tomorrow, let's say even less, like half a day to vote. Because tomorrow I intend to upload a fresh episode for Nation Plate. Then attract foreign capital, and then you can choose decisively here of either going democratic or fascist. This path will ultimately lead you to the fascists. Join the Axis path. Then you can also claim Macedonia and ally yourself with Italy. Or you can go democratic, grant religious rights, for example, and do concessions for Macedonians, establish the Banawina of Croatia. What? What you actually release? Oh, actually, never mind. You can actually choose of crush to Ustasha, even if you go democratic, so that's a good way. Yeah. You can actually like switch. You can either go this way or this way. You can like switch the path, which I find really interesting. But until here you can switch. After this point you cannot switch anymore. You have to choose then of going democratic or going fascist. Then you can either go a completely different way, which I would suggest. You could recognize the Soviet Union, which would be quite hard though, because if you check the situation, most of these countries will turn fascist. So yeah, Yugoslavia would be really in a hard position there. Certainly. Then you could form peasants' countries, councils for increased communist support, mutual economic aid, abolish the monarchy, join the Comintern, the research collaboration, the Yugoslavian path to communism, and forming the Federal Republic, which will make you get rid of these molluses, of these disadvantaged national spirits there. And then you could form the Pan-Slavic Workers' Congress and invite Bulgaria or Albania. Then you have a path for industrialization, where you expand the industry, earning mines, and you can choose of either getting military or civilian factories, then getting some extra resources here, getting an extra research slot, and then choosing of either improving the rail network or the Serbian rail network. Yeah, and then improving the light industry, getting some Serbian steel, developing the Slovenian industry. You can go for both parts, and then you could expand the Sarajevo arsenals and get another extra research slot there. And then you have another air trades for the Air Force, for the Army, and for the Navy. Air Force giving you a choice in either local developers or in purchasing foreign equipment. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. I don't know, perhaps go for the own path as Yugoslavia, although purchasing it could prove more beneficial. That's up to you to argue. Then it's time to modernize the Yugoslavian army. You can get some extra research boosts here, modern tanks and tank conversions. And this path is either to expand the split shipyards or expand the Serbian shipyards, which will just have the same result but yield you with different outcomes. Or you can contest the Adriatic or go for coastal defense, and then you can do all of that. Yeah, alright, so that's the Yugoslavian focus tree. Time to focus on the Kingdom of Romania, so let's tag Romania and get into the shoes of Romania. There we go. Romania starts off with a core population of 80 million, currently an army of 250,000, so quite strong there. And with 22 factories, of those being 7 military, 2 naval, and 13 civilian. Yeah. Keep that in mind. Also, I think if you play fascist, you'll lose Kristina and North Transylvania to the Hungarians, but that's, yeah, as usual. Alright then, so the Romanian focus tree. You have two national spirits. For one you have the neutral foreign policy, and then you have the King Carol II's lifestyle, and he's known for his expensive tastes and his willingness to indulge even the more lavish tastes of his mistress. Alright, so the Romanian focus tree is also really interesting, perhaps bigger than the Yugoslavian one. Then you can either preserve Greater Romania, or you can go for the dominance on the Balkans, which will enable you with a complete different outcome. If you do go for the Balkan dominance, you can only go for these, well, national focuses here. So just aggressive. Or you could go for preserving Greater Romania, where you could do a deal with the devil, which means with the Soviet Union. You could form peasant militias, basic rights for the Soviets, and then you join the Comintern. Or you could do a treaty with Germany and join the Axis and get some Axis oil there and some German equipment. Or renew the Romanian-Polish alliance and invite actually Czechoslovakia to the Condon Santier and demand a Western guarantee, and you could increase your militarization and joining the Allies, therefore making the war for the Germans, especially if you are united with the Czechoslovakians, Polish, and the Hungarians, and the Romanians way harder. But it's a question of time, actually, depending if if you're in a faction. I am not sure if the Czechs will actually yield into the Germans or not, so that's yet to see. That's to discover, to say the least. Then, furthermore, no matter if you go for this path, you will be able to go for this path here, giving them extra factories, extra design companies, and extra resources and a research slot as Romania. Or you have the path of instituting, actually you can do this as well, a royal dictatorship, which will make you remove the neutral foreign policy. Actually, can you, let's see, oh yeah, you could, I guess, still, yeah, you can't boost the popularity of non-alliance, but you could either go democratic or fascist or communist here as well. Or you could actually stay loyal to His Majesty's government and the parties with the king. And then, as always, you have a focus tree of the Air Force, the Army, and the Navy. You can choose of getting licenses or going your own path, then of doing army maneuvers, where you'll actually gain extra Royal Guard divisions. That's quite nice actually. And then, last but not least, you could increase the Romanian Navy while expanding the Galeati shipyards, for example. Yeah, so that's the Romanian focus tree. I hope you're well informed already now. Then we have Hungary, and still just like to review. So let's go ahead and take Czech country. So Czechoslovakia, which I find a really interesting choice to play, especially because you will be in conflict with Germany. I mean, which player would willingly give the Sudetenland to the Germans? No one. You will be. If you have the Czechs. We have the Spirit Divided Nation and Škoda Works, which increase the Czech factory outputs, but your country is divided, I think, because of the Slovakians. Here, so then, you are currently the only nation which is led by democracy, which is called Česká strana národního sociální. I hope I said it radical enough. Alright, then let's go and take a look to the, wow, huge, really huge Czechoslovakian focus tree. So, you can fortify your country against the Germans. Therefore, I find the game as Czechoslovakia really interesting because of the fortification measures. You already have a well-developed border, I think. Oh no, you don't. What? It's only level 1. That's how tremendously bad. Okay, never mind. So, then you can fortify your country there. You can go for the, well, that's the industrial path to increase your industry. So, for either going military or civilian. Well, actually, that's also civilian. I don't know why there's a military symbol placed when it's civilian factory. So I don't know what the developers of Paradox thought there. Anyways, it's all civilian. There's no military one. Oh, okay, that's quite interesting. Then you can choose your own political direction of either staying democratic and going democratic, going left, which means joining the Soviet Union, or going right and joining the Czechs. I mean, joining the German fascists. Where you can actually annex the Hungarian and the Polish. Alright, then you have some strategic decisions here. With the German appeasement, I mean, why would the players please go for the German appeasement? I think the AI will go for this if historical path is picked. If it isn't picked, most likely the AI will pick one of these paths for either going trust in the West, an entente of our own, or you can invade Yugoslavia, Romania, and also dissolve Hungary and Bulgaria. And then here you have, as in the other focus trees, the military, air, and naval path. Well, to develop here, actually, you need to get in coastal states. And if you look at Czechoslovakia, this can be fairly hard. It's quite hard to get a coastal state there. Yeah, quite. And you can get it. Well, what I don't like is that you cannot get any little dockyards here. Probably you can if you have any coastal states. Then you can, I think, yeah. And then the air path here of importing foreign fighters. And then the Military Technical Institute, which gives you some nice boosts in the research. That's about the democratic nation of Czechoslovakia. Now let's go to the last nation, to Hungary. Well, therefore, we have to take Hungary, surprise, surprise. Hungary is, I think, the weakest nation, starting off with 6 military, 0 naval, and 10 civilian factories. Hungary starts off with, like the other nations, with a civilian economy. Hungary has the Spirit Treaty of Trianon, which make it really disadvantageous for you to build military factories. So as Hungary, I would go ahead and firstly build some civilian ones, because it's not really worth to build military ones because of the Treaty of Trianon. You start off with about 16 factories, and with an insanely small army of only 41,000. So the weakest country of all is Hungary, with a really low core population of only 8.7 million. Yeah. So Romania has more than twice as Hungarian size, so that's not really that much. Then, research-wise, yeah, of course, custom weapons, although that's not what I'm going to review. The focus tree, there we go. That's the huge, really huge Hungarian focus tree. Insanely sized, is it? Let's start off with this path here, where you can either go for a balanced budget or for an economic intervention. If you go the left path, you strengthen the monarchists, which actually support unaligned policy. And you can actually either elect a democratic king and then go down the path to the allies, which I wouldn't do though. Or you could elect a fascist king, which would just enable you to go to the Treaty of Trianon path. Or you could invite the Habsburg prince, where Otto von Habsburg will become the leader, and he'll gladly accept, I think. And then you can either demand a referendum of restoring Austria-Hungary, or take Austria by force. So I hope Austria will accept. If they do so, you can restore Austria-Hungary, where you'll get a core on entire Austria, therefore making Hungary actually quite a powerful nation. So I think playing as Hungary, if I consider the circumstances, will be the most interesting thing. So, because if you want to see Austria-Hungary alive and back again, and if you want to see my goal to capture all of the lands for Austria-Hungary, then go sure to vote to play as Hungary. So saying so, you can continue that. Actually we are led by the non-aligned F4HP party. Yeah. Alright, it's called What If You Get Latex Sandy S48 Espart. So it has a name. Okay. Renounce the Treaty of Trianon. And you could also proclaim Greater Hungary, which would be the historical thing, I'd say. Get a core on North Transylvania, Christian Transylvania, Southern Slovakia, and Vojvodina. Or you could go communist, kill Horthy, so rest in peace for Horthy there, and do the Hungarian Red Army. Join the commentary, but this path is not that thorough, so I would either suggest you most likely to go for the Austro-Hungarian path there. You sadly get a claim on all of these territories and another core. I would have suggested a core to get on Krakow, Stanisław, and Lvov, but you only get a claim on these, so it seems like that's quite sad. Well, actually you get a core on also all of Czechoslovakia. Well, that's interesting. And then you have the Hungarian industrial path here, where you can get some extra factories, improve your research, announce the Geo program with civilian industry, the arms industry, the foreign investors, autarky, and then you could continue and go for the air path. And then, as always, you have actually a quite well developed secret rearmament military path for the Hungarians. As always, to do the naval path, you have to firstly get a naval blockade, which is Hungary isn't that hard. Simply a war with Yugoslavia should resolve the problem. Or with Romania. Yeah, saying so. Let's see. You could go for secret rearmament, like in history, and then go for the blood agreement, where Hungary asks the good of Romanians. And then establishing the air force, and then the air development and the license designs, so you can choose there. I don't know why it's so huge, because of this choose of this path here, I think. And then you could select your army for either going for home defense or for going for the mobile focus there, which I would pick. So that's the Hungarian focus tree. Go sure to vote either as Yugoslavia, Hungary, Romania, or Czechoslovakia, and I shall fulfill your desire. Also vote as which ideology, either democratic, communist, or fascist, I should play. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this spotlight greatly. I hope you will vote as well. So I wish you all a nice day and see you next time. Goodbye.